Okay, welcome back to ReZero Anime Review, episode number 13. Yeah, 13. This one we're reviewing episode 27 of the series from season 2, which stops the first two chapters from book 10. Yes, I've read this book, and a lot of the stuff that happens in this episode did happen in the book. Okay, what happens in this episode? Well, not a lot of action, but a good amount of plot development in this one. Episode starts off with Emilia, Subaru, and Rem going back to the mansion because they need to talk to Roswell. Of course, Crotch says hi, says goodbye, and hopefully see each other again. They probably will. And they go off, and basically they're in Otto's very luxurious carriage. Yes. I think this is the first time in the series they've actually shown the inside of these dragon carriages in the series because they never actually really show these before that I can think of. No, not that I could think of, no. Yeah. And it looks like something you see like on one of those fancy expensive trains. Because as business pennies probably would afford this stuff. And of course Rem is actually right in front of them, just lying down and sleeping. Yeah, it's described as basically that because she's in a sleepless state because she can't wake up, she doesn't age. Not at all. So, she pretty much just, as soon as, then of course, Emilia points out though that Subaru, when he sits next to her, it's like, it's strange you just automatically assume he needs next to me, but it's a strange but not unexpected thing you do. And of course, they talk for a while, and then they ride back to the mansion. And Ram is actually not there. Of course, first they stop by the village to drop off Petra and the kids, but it turns out the villagers are not back from the sanctuary yet. They don't know where the sanctuary is or what it is. So, up to the mansion, where it's just Subaru, Rem, Milia, and Otto. Okay, of course, Otto drops him, though he does come back a little bit later. And they go, like, okay, did we lock the place before we go? Yeah, that's typical, basically. He was like, we locked the place up. And Ram is not there. So, who was in charge of the mansion? Frederica. Yes, I do remember this character from the books. Yes, and her, from what I remember from the actual book itself, it's been like a month since I actually read the books. Her appearances in this episode are pretty accurate, though they may have changed some dialogue. Mostly put her scenes are pretty accurate how they're presented in the book. And when she happens to smile, Sarah's like, scary teeth! And of course, Amelia basically pulls him by the ear, and of course, he's like kneeling on the couch. Okay. And of course, well, it's explained that she had to quit for personal reasons. Yes, this is true from the book. She has to come back because, well, Subaru assumes that with Rem gone, Ram couldn't exactly do much work without her around, so Ram went off to the sanctuary. And Frederica's basically in pretty much the same type of outfit that Ram are normally seen in. And it's almost like when you look at this character, with the exception of the hair and face, body type, she's almost exactly like Ram, except that she's actually a lot more muscular than Ram. Also, she is half beast. Yep. And Subaru, basically, like, and you figure what's on Roswell's mind, so go see Beatrice. And just by sheer randomness, he just happens to find her. And, well, he explains that Frederica basically is one who told him that she's one of the people who knows what's on his mind. And it's just, that's partially accurate. And, well, talk about some other people. Yeah, just talk to her, have her take her to the sanctuary. And she explains the sanctuary. Of course, they explain a little bit later in flashback. They kind of rearrange stuff here. But it's fine. It doesn't really affect the story at all. Like, there's a barrier there. It's called the Calamity. And before they go, they're given a special pendant to go for the sanctuary. Also, before they go, they have to prepare some, let's just say, like, prepare a couple days to prepare before they go. And, of course, somehow, off screen, they apparently put an ad out for a maid. And Petra decides to take up the offer. And She says she'll take care of Rem, and of course Super asks, "Can you take care of Beatrice?" Was like, "You guys a little too much to me." Yep. It's very implied that Petra's got a thing for Subaru. She's 12 years old. He's like 17. He's like 5 years older than she is, and she's got a thing for him. I don't know if this can work out at all. I'm sure he probably like, yeah, I'm not into basically dating. I'm sure he probably is fine with her basically looking up to him as a big brother. He has no problem with that. But it's very implied that Petra's got a thing for him. But it's very implied in the background. So, before they leave, Petra gives him a handkerchief, ties around his wrist, and apparently he does the same thing with her. Apparently she does the same thing for herself. Just make sure you come back alive. And after she ties his wrist, she kind of hides behind Frederica. And of course, Frederica says goodbye. Okay. They hop in the carriage, and everything's going perfectly fine. And something's. Oh, yeah, and also Puck is not in the episode because they referenced what happened last week, where it's like, take care of Leela. And that's the reason why he's not in this episode. If I remember, he's actually not in book 10. He's actually not in the next few books at all, the books I've read. Because I've read the book 12, he's not in any of those books at all. I believe he's mentioned, but he does not make a physical appearance at all in the very next arc. Maybe the writer want to take a break from him because basically he showed up a lot throughout the first 9 books of the series. So he probably figured out, okay, let's just have him just not show up at all, just make a mention. And when they get close to the barrier, something strange happens to Amelia. He takes off the necklace, and then he wanders into, like, something strange. He gets somehow out of the carriage, and he comes across an elf. It's like, you're an elf. And he's like, who are you? And she runs off, and he comes across a temple. This temple looks almost the same exact place that Portuguese, who was the Archbishop Sloth, it looks like the same temple that he was using from the previous season of the show. I thought that was interesting. Subaru doesn't mention this at all, but I remember because I watched the show like last month, so I remember this. Yeah, actually, it was like 2 months ago I watched the show. And he goes inside, and he hears a mysterious voice. And now here's the thing. I had seen a trailer for this season, and then I read the book basically this episode's based on. I'm like, wow, it's like deja vu reading the book. And scene changes to another witch, changes the Witch of Greed. And she's seen like sitting at a table. This scene is very accurate to how this scene is depicted in the light novel, and I appreciate the fact that the episode actually did that. Fantastic. This episode overall was really good. I feel as though this episode is pretty accurate to the source material. As far as I can tell, I think they may have cut some dialogue mostly, but it's pretty accurate if I remember from the actual book itself. Yeah. The thing about the light novels for ReZero is that they always tend to get longer with each book. Yeah, the writer tends to write more pages in the books. There's one particular book series I have read where each following book, the books get shorter and shorter. That was Howling of the Salmon Demon Lord. Like, if anybody's ever read the books, like, they're really, really short. I think the shortest one I read was actually book 12. Anybody think, wait, the recent book, that was the most recent book released here, and that was, but I kid you not, like 132 pages. If I remember, I think the book that this episode is based on, at least overall, this is basically book 10. I believe this is actually about 50 pages, I think so. Or at least about 300 pages. Yeah. I'm like, that's quite lengthy for a book, but I got hands to the episode. Adapting 2 chapters for this episode is really good. Oh, here's something interesting, though. This book does not have manga counterpart. Unlike book 9, that does. Book 10 doesn't. For some reason, whoever writes the manga adaptation of the ReZero series, they only pretty much adapt into manga form the first 9 books. Yeah, that's as far as I got with it, though. I haven't finished reading the manga yet that adapts this, mainly because of the fact they haven't put all the chapters in it for some reason. I don't know why, but that's pretty much how it is. Yeah. all in all, great episode. I'm still planning on watching Freya. I was thinking of watching it as soon as I'm finishing the first book. I figured though, why not just read it after, watch it, read the second book, kind of like I did with Rising with Shield Hero. That's basically what I'm going to do. I'm going to read the second book, and then I'm going to watch the anime. And I'll tell you exactly how many episodes I'm going to cover when it comes to reviewing my first review of that series. Yeah, so we've stuck with One Piece for a little while. Now, as in the case of tomorrow, I might have probably one review coming tomorrow, probably One Piece, and that's it. Friday, of course, is Fire Force. Yep. Though I don't know if Case Closed is coming Saturday, so Case Closed maybe for Saturday. If not, well, don't worry about it. And Sunday, of course, is One Piece and Boruto. Yep. Okay, yo. That's pretty much it for this particular review. Stay tuned for my next review tomorrow. Probably more One Piece. Okay, to next video. Bye.